Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit and a Lego set and to hang out with all of you. And we're going to start with the Lego and then work on the model kit. I'm throwing the Bear Cave Lego site, the mode in chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can say hi or hey or use other people's emotes, reply with my emotes. If you want to be a lurker, be a lurker. That's totally cool. If you like to have it on the TV, or on your laptop or your tablet while you do other stuff, that's totally cool. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. Lashbrook was commenting on the song that was playing before the stream started, officially saying, just came in and thought the lyrics were I'm streaming. It was I'm dreaming, but it would have been funny if it was I'm streaming. And they were just like, yeah, we put our song about streaming up on the Twitch soundtrack service. I really hope they get more music in that, because I'm getting a little tired of all of the stuff that's on there. I gotta dig into some different genres, I guess, or subgenres perhaps. We are currently at 45 out of 50 subscribers. We would love to get back up to that 50 number. If you are thinking about subscribing or gifting a sub, tonight will be a great night to do that. Do that to somebody in the community. We're going to check real quick on a couple of things before we get going tonight. We are working on the Lego 3-in-1 Super Robot. We built the robot. We built the dragon. Tonight we are working on the jet. When that concludes, we will shift gears and start a high-grade model kit. The Harute high grade. The Harute high grade final battle version. The final battle version, basically, it's from the movie, the Gundam 00 movie. The final battle version basically adds GN boosters to the legs of our kit, so it doesn't stand up on its own, basically. It is a 2010 kit with some 2021 parts released in 2022. So it's some old but still good-looking parts. Too many stickers, in my opinion, but I understand, corrective. Also, there's some, differences of color in here, so there's some options in some of these stickers, so it's not all bad, but it's a little I don't want to say frustrating, but it is it's got some old stuff to it, and like I said, it does have some new parts, and that'll be interesting to see how that all looks and works out. I think it's a cool looking kit. Also, it's got this lovely orange, and not enough kits have orange in them. It is orange and purple. Just you don't see enough of that, in my personal opinion. So I am psyched about that, because this is a lovely looking shade of orange. And also, the 2010 orange is indeed identical to the orange that is on the new parts, because these haven't been sitting around for 12 years. These were redone, but they were originally done in there. So that's why it's copyright 2010. That is when it was designed, not when it was produced. Little thing about that. You'll find that a lot in the premium weird versions of kits that come out that I end up picking up because they look interesting. Also, the thing about ordering a premium kit from Bandai is that while it is expensive, it's always going to be more expensive getting it later, so you might as well get it when it comes out. And unlike their normal kits, which you have to wait for them to get somebody to get, and then you're pre-ordering and you hope they get them at a reasonable time, if Premium Bandai is shipping it out, it usually actually gets shipped out when they say it's going to. So even if it says February, it might not get shipped out till, let's say, February 22nd, but it did get shipped out in the month it said it would. Whereas oftentimes some of their other kits that are supposed to go to the general populace don't always show up at the store you pre-ordered it for, or the website you pre-ordered it for. So when I think about some of the kits that I pre-ordered, those might not actually come out anytime that I think, like the parts separator might not actually release in June. It could release in July or August. The Raider Gundam full mechanics could get delayed. Who knows? But the premium generally don't, in my experience. Occasionally they have, but in general, the Bandai's premium kits go out when they're supposed to. Again, I didn't get the Harute until the beginning of March because it didn't ship until the end of February, but it did ship out at the end of February. So that is nice. This might be a intimate, chill stream tonight. We might just have a few friends join us. I'm hoping a ton of people come in tonight. That will be rad. But if they don't, that's okay. We'll get into some Lego in just a moment because we want to finish up the Lego 3-in-1 Super Robot Kit by building a jet. So we'll get into that in just a second. Just gonna reply to my tweet with the actual link. It's very nice. I'm getting some nice messages from people. Apparently, I don't know if it's increased my viewership, but my views on Twitter of my promotion of my streams have increased since I started including a photo of myself in some of them, like holding the kit I'm working on or holding the instruction manual. That seems to do it, which is nice. It's nice that people, at the very least, are like, hey, I know that guy. Hey, Lord Crashington, welcome. Happy to have you here. All right, let's go over to the main feed. Small little thing. If you missed my stream last night, I would recommend checking out the archive, youtube.com/PatBearVods, and checking out the archive of my Pokemon Platinum randomizer, my first ever DS game randomized. It was a lot of fun, and I'm already really enjoying the crew we put together. Did I get a legendary? Yes, I did. Is it a cool psychic legendary that actually has a psychic move? Yeah, it is. And it's not incredibly overpowered, honestly. I will say this. My randomizer runs also include the starter Pokemon being randomized. And almost every time, I have ended up with a legendary is one of the 3 starters. And that is weird. I've done some off stream and that hasn't happened, but my streams have happened that way. And that is bizarre. I mean, the wing team, the wing squad, we just kept running into legendaries in that first area. It was completely bonkers. But this one was less bonkers because we've only seen one legendary so far, and it was the one that was from the starter, Cresselia. I'm glad it wasn't something like Heatran, because if I remember correctly, Heatran, which is a rock fire type, which is weird. Heatran, I believe, doesn't start with any like attack moves. So our first Pokemon would have been, we would have had to use whatever move it had until it hit struggle, and then also have enough potions to heal it because it would have taken damage to get to struggle. Lashbrick says, sorry for missing the Revolution talk. I had the stream on, but just crashed out super hard. Woke up near the tail end, says Lashbrick. No problem at all. Yeah, we did talk about AEW Revolution. Hey, Lashbrook, what do you think the odds are that Scorpio Sky is going to defeat Wardlow? When Wardlow uses his brass ring as the face of the Revolution for his TNT title shot, what do you think the odds are that he's going to beat Scorpio Sky? The big giant baby face they're putting some effort behind versus the brand new champion. Do you think perhaps like I do that they put the belt on a heel just because they didn't want Wardlow to get booed against Sammy Guevara, who people like, so instead they had him. I think there's got to be some MJF interference. Yeah. So the thing is, there could be some MJF interference, but still, you can't. I don't know. Part of it is that this company has not existed too long, but this is the first time that there has been a black champion, a black male champion in AEW. It's the second black champion ever and the first male black champion. And that is shitty. And to have it be Scorpio Sky in his current position as a heel is fine. It's totally okay to do that. But it's weird because he's celebrating it, which he should. He should be celebrating it. But he's like babyface celebrating it. And it's like, yeah. But then we're gonna want Wardlow to win? We're gonna want Wardlow to beat you. And we barely have had any time liking Wardlow. And it's weird. And I don't love it. I don't mind the idea of cheering for Wardlow, even though he is a monster heel and very good at being heel. I don't mind it. Also, my wrestling history has told me, this is my wrestling history here, is that when a heel turns babyface on a heel, that babyface generally doesn't do much for a long time after that. Because oftentimes the heater you're putting there doesn't actually do what you need it to do. Because they don't have anything for you once you break away. So hopefully they have something for Wardlow. It might have been, in my opinion, better just have them go their separate ways instead of turning a babyface. It's weird that he's been here like the entire time, and I think this is the most he's ever talked. Last work, that's the other thing, right? Like when you are the muscle for one of the best talkers in the company, you don't get to say anything. And for some people, that's awesome. Like Jake Hager, who sucks in real life. Jake Hager should stick to Chris Jericho, who sucks in real life, because Jake Hager he just can't talk on the mic in any good way, unless you want him to be a babyface that you get behind because of him battling his speech impediment, and you want to get behind him. But as a heel, it just doesn't. He becomes less intimidating when he starts talking. So him being aligned with Jericho is fantastic for Hager, I should say. There's Jamie Hayter and Jake Hager. It's great for him to be aligned. Wardlow, we don't get to hear Wardlow talk because why would Wardlow talk when he is with a talker? You know, like why would, like one of the best talkers in the company, if not the business in general, certainly in the company. So yeah, like in the same way that, hey, you know who we never really heard from when he first debuted in WWE? Batista. Because Batista was the muscle for Devon Dudley when Devon was doing his preacher gimmick. Are you going to talk more than Devon Dudley? No, they're not going to give this guy more mic time than Devon Dudley. Accidentally, sometimes it happens, which I think is very fun. Edge got to cut promos in the Brood because Gangrel got really nervous and handed the mic to Edge. Gangrel, who was the veteran, who was supposed to be the talker, it wasn't because they used to comment that it was because his fangs that he couldn't talk well. No, Gangrel just didn't want to cut promos. He didn't like promos. He had a good gimmick and didn't need to. He later had a terrible catchphrase, fangin' and bangin'. It's a terrible catchphrase, but it's at least something. But like, that dude didn't want to cut promos. So he handed the mic to Edge, and Edge was just like, oh, I guess I'm cutting a promo now. All right. And it was great for Edge. But like, that wasn't the plan. The plan wasn't for Edge to be the voice of the Brood. Like the Hardy Boys end up with managers. Like, yeah, you put people who you're unsure about with people that can talk. To me, it's always weird when you put people who can talk with people who can't. Like, I said that very poorly, but like, William Regal with Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley is hilarious to me because none of those guys need William Regal with them. I hope that they eventually put William Regal with someone who can benefit from a William Regal doing the talking. That, like, to me, it's just like sometimes a manager or having someone in your corner, like, it's not needed. Like, they don't need that. That, like, it's cool because of his personal history with them, and it puts William Regal in a fantastic position. And I love William Regal, as many people know. I do retweet this quite often. I don't know. I don't quite know why. Of all the wrestlers that exist, he's the one. But he is. He's my wrestler that, like, what if he was proud of me? I think part of it is because he has an affinity for comedy and loves, like, particular British comedy that, like, isn't as weird as I get with my comedy. But, like, the fact that he does that, the kind of people, William Regal has a lot of respect for wrestlers, but he has a lot of love for comedians. And I think that's why. Like, he's been very funny, but and he's done quite well with that. But that's because, like, he has a lot of respect for comedians and what they do. And I appreciate that very much. Did you see him apologizing on Twitter for going long in his promo? I didn't see that. But, like, to me, no apology needed, Mr. Regal. Like, everyone else is benefiting from you being there. But I actually want to see that, so I'm going to type it in. I don't know. It's great having him. I'm glad he has a job, because it's also would have been foolish for him not to get a job in some wrestling company. Let's see. This is a professional note from me, as I have no other form of social media, and would rather my new colleagues see this, as I don't like gossip. I am very sorry to everyone affected by my time issues last night. I apologize to everyone personally affected. I should be showing people by example and being a pro and hitting my times. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that is also Kim being like, I don't want gossip about this. I'm just going to apologize. I didn't see that apology, but also fucking let William Regal go along. God damn it. It's William goddamn Regal. It is the more professional thing to say, hey, I don't want to, I don't want this, like, to reflect poorly on others. And, and I want to make sure that, like, people know that I do feel bad about that. But, like, to me, not a big deal. Anyway, in general, I hope Scorpio Sky doesn't lose to Wardlow and has that title for a while, and he is not a transitional champion. And I think that it would suck if the first black male champion in AEW had the title for, like, a week. I think that would be terrible and shitty, and also fucking very AEW to be, like, weeks after, like, and just, like, the current voices of people, it's like for Tony Khan to go from, like, hey, we let Big Swole go because it wasn't working out, which he has not apologized for, from that to be like, yeah, Scorpio Sky won the belt for a week. Like, fucking yikes. Also, Thunder Rosa winning the belt at her home state is not better than her winning it at a pay-per-view, but I will take it if she wins it. If Thunder Rosa wins this belt from Britt, I would be very happy, because I think that she would be a good champion. But winning in your hometown is nice, but it's not as nice as winning at a pay-per-view. And also, why is Thunder Rosa why did Thunder Rosa even get an opportunity to be back in contention? I thought wins and losses mattered, but, like, losing to the champion should put you at a disadvantage to being able to be the next challenger, in my opinion. I don't know. But whatever. Also, Jericho with 2.0 is great for... Here's another example. 2.0 can fucking talk. They don't need a Chris Jericho. So I hope that this their association is short-lived. I would like to see that take be a little bit longer of or shorter of an association. Just maybe get them a few more high-profile matches and then have them inevitably turn on Jericho before he leaves for a little while or whatever the fuck. But in general, 2.0 with Jericho makes some sense. Also, the very first piece of merch for the Chris Jericho Appreciation Society looks awful, and I like that. It was such a weird thing with no titles changed. Yeah, no titles changed hands, and then they blew up most of their faction the show after. Yeah, no titles changed hands. It was weird. It was really weird. Because like there were at least a couple that you kind of thought would change hands. Um, Thunder Rosa winning was something that like I think a bunch of people thought. Maybe even the tag belts changing hands. I could have seen Red Dragon picking up the win, and pinning a Buck or something. Like something like that. I definitely could have seen that happen as well. I think some people were thinking that Adam Cole was going to pick up the win. I don't mind. I don't really mind Adam Page winning. I think he's not been the. They haven't. I don't know. I think this run. This is going to be his first run with the belt, and then he'll win it another time in a couple of years, and that one will be a better run. Is me looking into the future on that. Is that'll be a better run in the future, but right now it's not been great. I expected the tag titles to move because I thought the Elite were winning something at the show and didn't want Page losing. Yeah, I mean, I don't. I think they don't mind not having belts. I think they like having belts, but right now, I think that they are more okay with not having them. To me, that's fine. I do wish that Keith Lee had won. Knowing now that Scorpio Sky won the TNT title, I would have liked it more if Keith Lee had won, because then you had Keith Lee versus Scorpio Sky, which sounds like a fucking great match. Because I don't have expectations for babyface Wardlow. I feel like babyface Wardlow is a ticking clock to being heel Wardlow, and that's okay. And they could have broken up the two of them without turning him babyface, but whatever. Honestly, I just want Keith Lee to do some cool shit, and because he's awesome. I just want to see him do cool shit. I like Keith Lee a lot. He's just a fucking great wrestler. Jeff Hardy, the thing everybody knew, including the fact that he was doing like a meet and greet at some concert, and a fan who has a YouTube channel about music asked him where he was going next, and he said, "Oh, I'm going to AEW." And then he had to like tweet out some bullshit thing of like, "Hey, don't believe everything you hear," which is like, what? Because he wasn't supposed to say he was signing with AEW, and that because he shouldn't have said that while he was still under a no compete, which he is no longer under a no compete. Showed up, most likely gonna get together with Matt, and that seems fine. Yeah, I think Jeff Hardy was going to be there, and like, sure, I hope they look after him, because that would be good. And yeah, I like to see Matt and Jeff do some shit. I think that's cool. I've probably said this before. I did see Matt and Jeff Hardy wrestle. They won the titles off the Bucks Ring of Honor. It was a Ring of Honor show in New York in the Hammerstein Ballroom. It was a great show. The best part of the show was I tweeted about this. Was Adam Cole came out, and two women who were older ladies, kind of a few rows ahead of us in our seats. They had come here. Clearly, they weren't super into wrestling, but I don't know if one of them was related to him or they were friends of someone related to him, but there was a family connection, and one of them pulled out a full giant iPad, like one of the big old iPads, and held that up and took a photo of him in the ring on a big iPad. And that will always stick with me because it was a lovely visual. I had floor seats for that show. The back at the floor, and they were mid-floor seats, so they got very good seats for this event, but they weren't like ringside. Yeah, so I got to see Jeff and Matt beat the beat the friends of the Young Bucks to win those belts. And then that was fucking cool because I never thought I would see Jeff Hardy wrestle in person. So I again, so I was very happy to see that. It was a good show. I don't remember much else about it, unfortunately. That was a show that I went with Dan Reichert. Dan texted me that day and said, "Hey, I got an extra ticket for the show. Do you want to come?" And I said, "Sure." And then he managed to get into the meet and greet that he wasn't supposed to be at to go talk to Cody, who at the time was just wrestling as Cody because he couldn't wrestle as Cody Rhodes. So he was wrestling as Cody, and he went to go see Cody. And yeah, I don't remember anything else about that show, but it was fun. It was the second best Ring of Honor show I've ever seen. The best Ring of Honor show I ever saw was Ring of Honor versus New Japan, where I saw one of Kevin Steen's last matches, which was fantastic, before he became Kevin Owens. That was great. I saw AJ Styles retain the New Japan title. He had won it in Canada, and we assumed that he beat Okada for it and then was going to lose to Okada in New York. Everyone assumed. And he won because people didn't know that he had signed with New Japan. He wasn't at that show as a Ring of Honor wrestler. He was at that show as a New Japan wrestler. So he retained the title and then took it with him to Japan. And people were fucking surprised about that shit. It was cool as hell. That was a really, really good show. Yeah, that was a seeing Okada wrestle AJ Styles was so good. Kevin Steen's one of his last shows. It was part of the Kevin Steen goodbye tour. It might have been his last show in New York. That was really, really something. That was a long card full of really fucking good matches. I went to a WCW show back in the day, says Lord Crashington. I don't remember much besides the fact that Goldberg was late, quote unquote, to show up. I think that was around the time that Lance Storm was a big part of WCW. Hell yeah, get some Lance Storm there. That's very fucking cool. So I haven't seen, I've been to some WWE shows. I've been to, I never saw WCW. Saw plenty of WWF into WWE shows. Seen a couple Ring of Honor shows. Never went to an Impact taping because they were tapings. And then I've seen a fuckload of independent shows, like a shitload. There's another ADO show in Austin in 2 weeks, and I would love to, but just couldn't pull it off. I hear you, Lastbrook. You can't go to all of them, but yeah, I got you. I would like to see an AW show at some point. I don't want to go to any venue that is near here for size capacity reasons. They haven't been in my area, but they will at some point. But it would be a very long trip, so it would it would be a difficult thing for me to go. It would not be a convenient, easy thing. I think the last live wrestling show I saw was a Kaiju Big Battle show. Yeah, Kaiju Big Battle did a show WrestleMania weekend when it was the last time it was in New York, or SummerSlam weekend when it was in New York, and they had a show with DDT wrestling, and it was fucking cool as hell. And it was I saw what's her name? Her alternate persona is Susie. The vampire, I forget her name, but her alternate persona is Susie, or Sue. But she's like fucking terrifying in the ring. Wrestle like a big cartoon monkey man, and it was very strange and weird. The DDT people totally got what was going on because they're a kind of a weird wrestling promotion, and it was a really good show. But yeah, I definitely saw some fucking very strange wrestling in my time. That was one of the last ones I saw in public. Yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of Chikara shows. Some CCW shows, you know. Oh, actually, oh look, I got an update, folks. We're down to 44 subscribers. The 45 is now down to 44, which is okay. It is not what we would like. We would like to see 45. We would like to see, 50, really. But, oops, I'm changing it to the wrong number. But yeah, we were down to 44 subscribers. And again, it's okay. I just keep track. I'd love to get back up to 50. It'd be okay if we could. It'd be great if we could. It's okay if we don't. That is what I've been saying there. Let me just check these here. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the PlayStation State of Play, because there is stuff that came out of the PlayStation State of Play that we can talk about here. I'm going to go through these quickly. If you have thoughts on any of these games, you can put comments in the chat, your thoughts and opinions. I don't have strong opinions on a lot of these, but I have some opinion on some of these. So we'll just go through it. Exoprimal is a good name for a game where you are someone in an exosuit fighting against dinosaurs. The dinosaur forecast is too good a concept for this video game. We dropped some frames at one point. That sucks. The idea that portals will open and dinosaurs will pour out and you got to fight those dinosaurs is a great premise, and that they call it the dinosaur forecast is because they're trying to predict it, is such a good, really nonsense idea that at the end of the day, I'm not going to play Exoprimal with friends and fight waves of dinosaurs. But I love the idea, and I think the name's pretty good. Ghostwire is out so soon. Why did they even show it at this State of Play? Because it's out next week or 2 weeks from now. Why bother showing it? I don't know. Whatever. Final Fantasy Origins. Stranger of Paradise. Final Fantasy Origin has a demo available. It also is out soon. And it does need... I want to see this trailer that was shown, but with late 90s, early 2000s butt rock playing over it. And if you don't know the term butt rock, just it's not rap rock because they don't know anyone to do a rap verse in the song, but the rest of it is that kind of rock. Butt rock is rap rock without the rap, basically. Some nice Godsmack. Yeah, Godsmack is butt rock. It needs something like that for the vibes that particular game is giving off. Rock the Dragon, yes. Nickelback, some of Nickelback is butt rock, but some of Nickelback is good old boy rock. Even though they're Canadian, they still have some American good old boy in them. But yes, some of Nickelback is indeed butt rock. But Godsmack is Days of the New is fucking butt rock. Days of the New isn't metal, but they think metal is pretty great, but they're just not. That's not their thing. Yeah, it's a little too sappy. Yeah. They were a little too saccharine for that. This jet is almost done and looks pretty fucking cool. I gotta say, we're almost done with this jet, and I don't know. I'm liking it. I think this looks rad. All right, so Forspoken just got delayed. Announced delayed before they announced the delay. And is relevant to these streams. Isekai. So if you don't know why the main character is saying stuff that doesn't quite fit with the whole vibe of the magic, and in this particular case, the magic parkour and magic dodging and magic surfing that happens in the game, that is because it is an isekai story. And yeah, I think the some of the magic shit looks fun and cool in that. I think that's good vibes. Let's see. Again, Forspoken looks interesting. Yeah, I think it looks pretty neat. Again, relevant to this stream and our vibes here is Gundam Evolution, which is basically Overwatch but with Gundams. Also, hey, Aristophan is here. Very nice to have you. So yeah, Gundam Evolution is like Overwatch with mobile suits, because not all of them are Gundams. I also think it's Square's first major game with a black lead. It's certainly one of the first, if not the first. It's definitely one of them. You had forgotten about... Had you forgotten about Forspoken, or had you forgotten about Gundam Evolution? Yeah, Gundam Evolution got announced like last year. Here's more about it. Network testing coming soon for PC and PlayStation, I believe. Both, honestly, yeah. I can't tell you for sure if this is... yes, that Gundam game is free to play, one of many out there. Yeah, but it is going for the, like... It doesn't have a payload, but it's going, like, mode. But it's going for the Overwatch vibes. And I'm not big on Overwatch, but I do like Gundam. And look, let's be real. If there's a death scythe, there has been there is a Barbatos, but there has not been any look to anything from Gundam Wing. And if they went with death scythe, because like they have the Barbatos to be like the melee, like the sword user. So what if they also had a scythe user, huh? There are only so many Gundam, big, well-known Gundam and mobile suits that have swords. Obviously, they could also do the Astray Red frame with the samurai swords. They could just do that. But what if they did the Death Scythe? And then I would probably play it some. And be very bad at it. Very classic Call of Duty modes. Yeah. Definitely will crash into it. But like... I mean, this just like, it's like a 6-on-6. It feels very Overwatchy, which is fine because people like Overwatch. So like, sure, like, cool, do it. I hope people like it. I hope it's a good Gundam game. The big takeaway, the thing that people who were still disappointed with the show seem to like the most coming out of this is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Cowabunga Collection, which is a very good name. So, it's a bunch of games, but also it's a bunch of games and different versions of those games. Like, it'll be like Turtles in Time and like the different platforms that came out on. And it'll be like, the arcade game and the versus game, the arcade version of the versus game, and the Super Nintendo version of that. So like a lot of that, I have more information about it that was presented there. It is being done by Digital Extreme. So I have friends who are working on this collection, including Chris Kohler, who is apparently, Chris has said, not to toot his own horn, but he has been pushing for lots of cool bonus shit in this. Turtles in Time and Tournament Fighters. Yeah, Tournament Fighters is the name of that. Yeah. But like he said several times, quality of life features. So maybe they made that dam level beatable. Like maybe they fucking tweaked the dam level so you can get through the dam level in the TMT NES game. That would be fucking great as hell. I would love that. I can't say they're doing that, but he said quality of life shit and bonus stuff, and that sounds great. They added save states and rewind. Well, there you go. But yeah, it means that by it being a digital Eclipse, it means that Chris is involved in it. It's the same company Mike Micah is at, a big part of, and Drew Scanlon. So I don't know, what Drew is doing there right now, but I don't know if he has anything to do with this, but shit's happening there. Drew Scanlon, indeed. But Chris is my friend from my childhood, young adulthood, high school time mostly. I knew him mostly in high school. So like, it's cool and weird that to be like, oh yeah, that's a game Chris is working on. It's just very cool. All right, this jet is done. I'm going to take a photo of this cool jet. Let me get a nice photo of that in. This jet is pretty fucking rad. I'm going to hold it up to this camera. Here. I like the look of this jet. I think it's pretty neat. Wings you can move the wings a bit if you want, but I think the wings, like, yeah, that's cool. That's a cool kit. So we're gonna move on and we're gonna switch over to working on the Harute. I gotta move this Lego here. I got a box to put this Lego in a bit here. I got another Lego set. It's a couple cars, Chevys. There's like a new racer, and like it's the classics thing or the collection, and like a '69 Chevy Corvette, and then a cool new one. I got one of those Lego sets because I like building those Lego sets. I think those are fun. But that's in the future. Right now, we gotta let's see. Oops. Sorry, everybody. Got to figure out where my mouse went. My mouse disappeared on me. All right. Let's get rid of this. Booyah. The Harute. Oh, and we can also, while I'm here, put the markers back up. There's the markers. Orange. We'll go with black. And the white, we'll go with gray. And there's like one piece of red, but whatever. You probably know that. It's in there. What that color would be. Harute is right here. Is the final battle version. So it has weird GN drives on its legs. Oh, Lord Crescent wants me to hit the ska button. So yeah, I'll hit the ska button. Give me a second. This is indeed a 2022 kit. Released in 2020. Released 2022. Labeled 2021. It is parts from 2010. You can see that there's some stuff we won't be using in this kit, which is fine. And plenty of stickers, and some new parts. And then also, this stand is gray instead of clear. And I don't know why they did that. Usually this stand that you get is not this color gray. And I kind of fucking like it. I don't love the clear stand, so hell yeah, I'm happy about this. I will be keeping for display purposes, so I can put more Gundams on there, or mobile suits. So yeah, the Gundam Harute, we're on there. I guess I should say that we're doing that. So let me just do that real quick. Let me just reply to this saying we're starting the Harute. Starting the Harute. Yeah, so this is from Gundam 00, the movie. And it's like the final battle version. It's like the upgraded version. So the 2010 release was the original, and this is the upgrade version, which is cool. I think it's going to be cool as hell. So we're going to get started with that. Put that there. I got my tools ready to go. I've got all the trays that I need for this, and got some poly caps here, and then we'll get going. Poly caps 3 and 13 and E7. Okay, here we go. Doing it. All right, getting back to talking about some cool ass stuff from the PlayStation. There's not much left to talk about here. Giga Bash is coming next year, and it is a kaiju like brawler thing that I don't know much about, but it looked kind of fun. Giga Bash, I don't know. Like I don't want to say like intrigued, but I was like, huh, okay. I don't know. It looks fun. That looked pretty neat. JoJo's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R. Look, here's the thing, right? 50 characters from JoJo. Great. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I played a fighting game for that on the Dreamcast years ago. And that was based on the manga, and I had only seen like some of the original anime, so I was like, who the fuck are any of these characters? What is happening here? Now I know way more of those characters because I've seen way more of that anime. And it's really fucking weird that like they're going for it, and I think it's cool. But here's the thing. I think Arc Systems has spoiled me when it comes to anime fighters, because just in time for Jeff, indeed. But just like the idea that it's an update of a PS3 game. Yes, Lashbrook, that's the other part I was going to say. This is just an update of a PS3 game. And the big thing about it is just man, Dragon Ball came out. Dragon Ball Fighter Z came out. I don't know if you can do this anymore. I don't know if you can put out, when I think of that, the Shonen Jump game, I'm just I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Oh, we got to go back to the build. I did that because I was typing. Here's the build. Working on this. Sorry, everybody. Didn't even notice I hadn't gone back to this. Apologize. I don't know, y'all. I don't know about the JoJo. Okay. Trek to Yomi was something that, because of its visual style, people were interested in. And I totally understand why people would look at that and go, hey, what's this fucking about? What's going on here? Because it's a side scroller that's in black and white, and it's going for this samurai vibe. They got some voice actors of note. If you were watching the Giant Bomb watching of this, Jeff Gerstmann was incorrect. The Gojo that he mentioned, or Goto, is not the wrestler. That is a character actor in Japan that does a lot of anime, a lot of small roles in anime, nobody big that you would know. A lot of one-off episodes of anime, and so no, that is not. They did not get a professional wrestler to be in that. So look, they got some Japanese voice actors, some of which have been fairly well known, some of which are not particularly super well known. I did pop a bit for Akio Okusaka. Yeah. So this is very clearly done by developers who have a love for samurai films, and having a love for the thing that you were making it a video game on is cool as hell. It is weirder when you have an Italian, now American citizen, as your director, and you're a studio in Poland. And your publisher is Devolver Digital, who are based in Texas and have offices in London. But yeah, the Flying Wild Hog, the people that make the Shadow Warrior games, are making this. And I still don't fucking feel good about that shit. Look, obviously they're going to get compared to Ghost of Tsushima that had that mode, the black and white mode. They're going to get compared to that for that, and that comparison is probably unfair. But the comparison that they are a Western, they're a Polish development team, so they're not necessarily certainly a European developer is making this game. So we'll just say that. A European developer is making this game. It's published by a U.S. company. It all fucking feels weird to me. And we're just going to, leave it at that. That's the vibe. All of it fucking feels weird. All of it feels like... it leaves a bad taste. Yeah, that's my general take on it. I think it looks cool, but because I don't review video games or talk about them for a living, I am not a games journalist or a games critic or anything of that sort. I am a person that plays games once a week on stream and talks about them while I build model kits and Lego sets. It's easy for me to say, if that game was presented to me, I would not be checking it out because I don't have interest in that kind of stuff. And it feels fucking weird to me. And that is fine. It is cool for me to feel weird about it. If you want to check it out, that is 100% up to you. That's just the vibe I have right now, that feels weird in a way that I don't want to feel, and I don't like feeling that kind of weird when it comes to games. So if I can avoid that, I'm going to avoid that. That's just where I'm at when it comes to that particular title. We'll get through these and then we'll take a pause for the cause. Returnal. Not DLC. This is an update. This is update 3.0 coming out soon, which will add in co-op. And that's fucking cool. That's cool as hell. I'm sure they're... I'm putting this on wrong. I'm like, why is this not working? It's because I attached this part wrong. So I got to attach this part right. So this goes in like this, and this goes in over it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, now this should work right, because I believe I have done this properly. And I did. Hooray. Yeah, Returnal. Not a game I've played. Sounds cool that they are adding in co-op. That is very cool. I love that it is not a DLC, that it is a update, and so everybody gets it. I think that is cool as hell. And you know, good on them. The Diofield Chronicle, or sorry, the Diofield Chronicle. The Diofield Chronicle is Square making some kind of tactical game with a fun name. That is a fun name for a video game. The Diofield or Diofield Chronicle. I don't have much more to say than that. Like, very little of that was shown that gave me any sort of impression on how I should feel about that particular title. All right, so we need C1 or 8. Okay, C8. We'll do C1 8. Obviously featuring the music of Dio. Indeed, totally. I mean, that would be fucking cool as hell. But no, that's probably not true. And then the final game shown. The final game, your closer, your send them one more home happy, was Valkyrie Elysium. Valkyrie Elysium, which is an action game that looked fucking terrible. And I understand that is not final, that slices of game, you know, everything is rough, everything is heated, but that is not a good first impression, because this game looks bad. It looked muddy and bad and fucking bad. I think the title is a word generation. I think it is ballsy as hell to put out a game with Elysium in the title. Like, Square has put out a lot of experiments lately. Totally. And I think that's cool that they're doing experiments, but I do think putting Elysium in a title, like, look, is Disco Elysium the only game that could ever be called Elysium? No. But still, having said that, come the fuck on. You can't with that. You can't be putting Elysium in a title now. Like, right now, like in this year, you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. You gotta use a different name. You gotta call it something else. There's already a title. There's a, like, Game of the Year winning game with Elysium in the title that, like, just put out an update not too long ago. You can't fucking call your game that. It's weird. There's also, like, Valkyrie is in a bunch of things as well. It's a follow-up to Valkyrie Profile, though they should have put that in the new consoles. Yes. I didn't really draw the comparison at all. I mean, maybe I'm the only one, but to me, like, yeah, if it's the follow-up to Profile, then, you know, don't call it like, I don't know. It felt weird to me. Again, maybe it's just me, but it felt like a weird choice. Why is this this is a pain in the ass piece to get in here. I'm glad that I panel lined it before I put it in, but, like, what the fuck? Y'all, this is a pain in the ass. Anyway, that was the State of Play. Sony State of Play, which I saw a bunch of people being like, that's it? And they were like, well, they said they were going to be, like, their partners, that they were going to be checking in with. But I think people need to stop treating State of Play like mini E3s, because they're not mini E3s. They're like mini E3s. Like, I think people need to stop thinking these are going to be huge announcement fests and start treating them like what they are, which is just like incremental, small little shows. They're just little things. Because I know a bunch of people are like, oh, there's no games I want to play on that. And it's like, yeah, all right. But I'm sure there were some people that were like, this is cool as hell. I mean, I am the one that said they shouldn't have included... Why can't I get this fucking piece to go in? I'm the one that said they shouldn't have included Ghostwire, which is just about to come out. But, like, I don't know. Maybe do include Ghostwire. What the fuck do I know? Like, put in things you want to put in, I guess. I don't know. It was I just was like I was feeling pretty mad about the whole thing, but I hope people were excited about some of the stuff that came out there. Like the Turtles collection, I think is cool. I might try Gundam Evolution. Like, I don't know, maybe this will be the Gundam game that I play when I haven't played a Gundam game in a real long time. I don't know. It's possible. This could be the Gundam game for me. Who knows? I'm not ready to write that off right now. This could be the Gundam game of my dreams. Or nightmares. Ha ha ha. Alright, so... Why is this... Okay, that's where it should go on. Yeah, that's how it should go. Got it. It's not like there aren't a ton of games coming out soon anyway. Yeah, I don't know. It was just like... I think people need to lower their expectations on anything from these particular showcases, because I think people are getting their hopes up way too high that these are going to be like, oh, they're going to, like, people really thought they were going to announce like the next Final Fantasy game at this thing. And it's like, no, even though yes, E3 is dead, the week that they kind of call E3 is when you announce a Final Fantasy game. You don't announce a Final Fantasy game on a Wednesday. Like, you know, like, I think people just had like way too high expectations of what this thing is going to be, and they really got to fucking lower that shit. I think it's just reasonable to do it. I understand that it's difficult to do that because, like, you want cool, good, big, cool shit, but I think you fucking gotta. I've never built the Harute, the regular version of the Harute. This is interesting because 2010 I was not building model kits. I mean, I didn't see Gundam O and 00 for many years after it was kind of gone. So this is a new kit for me, which is great because this is not a kit that is particularly like, I ran into it a lot, so I'm happy to work on it. Because like I said, I haven't seen it a lot, so for me, this is pretty cool. I am going to put in this piece here, and then we'll panel line this, and then put on the front part, because I think that it'll be easier to do that. But we'll put this on here because we'll leave that off for now, and then we'll just get the piece we need. But we'll panel line the rest of it before we put on the front part. Interesting that there have not been any stickers here so far. No stickers on the chest, which like I said is interesting. I'm going to actually double check that to make sure that I'm not wrong. But I believe the first stickers are the head coming up. Yeah. So that is interesting. But there's plenty of good spots to panel on this lovely orange. I mentioned it before. I really like this orange. It's really nice. But yeah, we'll panel line before I put this piece in, because it's just going to go in like this. It'll be easier to get into some of the other parts with that off. And then we'll panel line it all with black because there's no. Oh, no, I don't have to worry about the white there. We'll just hit it with the black marker and then move on from there. Okay, let me just check a thing real quick. check the thing real quick. Oh, it's so weird. Let's see. Okay. All right, let's take a pause for the cause, folks. This is a chance for me to talk to you about ways you can support the channel. All of the things I'm about to talk about here are optional. None of these are things you need to do, but if you'd like to do, that would be cool. And I'll try to get through these fast because many of you have heard these things before, and that's okay as well. If you are currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote in the chat. Let the people know you are a subscriber. That is an easy way to support what I do here, is being a subscriber through using your Prime Gaming token, if you have Amazon Prime linked with your Twitch account, or just using Cash Money. That's another way to support what I do here, is through the use of cash, linking your credit card. And there is the Tier 2 emote, which is the Death Scythe, that's all Tier 2 only. I'm behind on getting a new emote. I wanted a new emote. I wanted to have a new $10 Tier 2 emote, and then make the Scythe emote available for everyone. That has been delayed for unforeseen circumstances, but I would like to get that fourth emote out done. Let's say by summer. Because that would be great. Let's see. Another way to help me out here is to join my Patreon. Patreon.com/PatBear. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier there. So you could join that. Again, I'll try to get through this quick. All this stuff is optional. I should say, Patreon, that would be great. Gifting subs. We're at 44 subscribers. Love to get back up to 50. If you want to gift somebody a sub in the community, that would be great. Or if you haven't subbed, or you used to sub and you don't anymore and you want to join in, that would be great too. Bits and coins are also always appreciated. The goal is always to hit 50, because hitting 50 means that I am guaranteed a payout every month, and that money, along with the other money I collect, goes into buying model kits, so it keeps the streams going. So thank you very much for your support there. If you want to join into my YouTube channel, you can of course become a subscriber there for free, youtube.com/PatBear, or you could jump in and become a member, and you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday, so you get them a day early, which is kind of cool. It's something, it's small. Also direct donations, because I said everything I make goes into buying model kits, just goes into a fund. The Harute that is a kit that I pre-ordered from Premium Bandai. Thanks to your generous funds, past you, if you are a subscriber or on the Patreon or here on Twitch, has helped me get this kit. So this kit exists because of your generosity. So thank you very much for that. Also, I have an Amazon wish list. Now, the next kit, this kit, I bought, this was a vote for my $10 patrons. The next kit I build will also be for my backlog, unless you, that's you, buy something from my wish list, in which case that becomes the next thing I build, because it jumps the queue. I'll shoot a separate video about it on YouTube. I got a bunch of different things. I got some 30-minute missions on there, because I've never done one of those. Lego sets, high grades, master grades, inexpensive kits, very expensive kits, all kinds of different things that I will be happy to build on stream, and you can take a look at. And then I have equipment at the bottom of the list, because that's a fun thing. And then also down on the list, because it isn't technically out yet, the standard version of WWE 2K22, the PC version, the code that you redeem on Steam, I put on my Amazon wish list because I don't want to buy that game. But if you, for some reason, want to spend $60, I'll definitely stream playing that. But right now, it isn't out yet. It does come out at some point, but or it did, but whatever. It's still considered a pre-order. Amazon hasn't sent codes out yet. So I put that on the list. Because maybe you really want me to play WWE 2K22. And if you do, I will do that. I don't know. I'm going to experiment with putting some games on there here and there, on the wish list, the Steam codes or whatever. I'm going to experiment that with a little bit. If people ever say, hey, you should play that game on stream, I'll put it on Amazon. I don't know. I'm thinking of trying that out. I don't know if that's going to be something I do in the future, but check it out. If there's a model kit you'd like to see me build, you can buy it there. It will be rad. Alternatively, you can go to USA Gundam Store and buy a gift card there, and then send me a DM on Twitter with that code, and then I'll buy something on USA Gundam Store with the money you sent me in that gift card. That's my Amazon alternative. And I do plan on, keep buying. I'm gonna keep buying model kits to build, so you can always help me there. Let's see. A free way to help me out is to join my Discord. We'll get back to building in just a minute or two, but I want to get into this. My Discord is a great place to hang out with people, talk about stuff that we'll talk about on stream or that you're interested in. Talk about some Gundam stuff. Also, I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. It is a nice little community of friends. A couple videos to check out. Pat Bear's Anime Club. I talk about some shows from this season that I like. I will be doing in a couple weeks, I will be doing a live Pat Bear's Anime Club about the season as the season kind of wraps up, and we'll do a preview for the next season. I believe I will be doing that in 2 weeks, like on a Wednesday. Yeah, the 23rd, I believe I will be doing that then, because the season will be almost over at that point. I have a new Pat Bear's Anime Club coming out on Monday that I will be recording on Saturday, and I'm excited about it. I think it's a fun idea for a video. Do You Remembaer is my ongoing video series where I take a topic, read about it, and then try to regurgitate as much information as I can from that in a comedic manner, or at least an entertaining manner. If not very funny, at least fun. And this time around, I talk about openoffice.org. And I'll tell you here, you have to call it openoffice.org because they didn't own the name OpenOffice. So they couldn't call their product OpenOffice. They had to refer their product as openoffice.org. And in one country, they couldn't even call it that. And I got inspired by Will and Brad's open source podcast to talk about this because I was thinking like, hey, no one talks about OpenOffice anymore. Like, wow, Google kind of killed that. Well, also, Oracle kind of killed it too by firing all the people that worked on it that they had hired, and the people in the open source community had left to go work on a different Office variant because they hated working with Oracle and they didn't really love working with Sun either, but whatever. So fascinating to talk about that, talk about this like juggernaut. They had like 14% market share at one point. They were like doing it. And then they weren't anymore. So I don't know. I talked about that, and I think it was pretty cool. And then people ask about it, so I want to put a link in here for a little while longer. There is a plugin right now for OBS called the Closed Captions plugin, and you can download it here at this link that I'm putting in the chat, and will be in the show description on YouTube. What's up, YouTube? And you can find out more about that there. That is how, if you hit the Captions button on your screen in the bottom right, next to the clip button or the settings button, you can put in closed captions. And as long as I'm talking into a mic that isn't muted, you will see captions, which is neat. It only really works if you are the only person talking. It doesn't work if there are multiple people, I believe. But right now it is using Google's like speech recognition software, and is probably way better than the other, in my experience, way better than the other Twitch plugins, which are also, this is opt-in for you on your end, whereas the other ones are opt-out, and I always prefer opt-in myself. Like, if you really want to have closed captions, you will seek it out, instead of it being a thing that you go and check out a streamer, and then there's all this text on the screen that you don't want to see, and you have to figure out how to turn off the plugin or whatever. This, I think, is just easier. So check that out. I don't know. I think that's neat. All right, we're going to talk about some manga, and then we'll talk about some anime, but first things first, I've got to drink some water because I need it, and then we'll get back to building the Harute. We're going to start panel lining this when we talk about some manga and then some anime, and I'm first going to hit the dramatic transition. Dramatic transition. And then we're going to keep working on this kit while I talk to you about a manga that I have been reading, which hopefully why. There he goes. Kakeau Tsukihi. I haven't said this anime's name out loud. I know it's Kakeau. Kakeau. Yeah, and Suiki. Got it. Anyway, this is a joke. This is a slice of life about two broke girls who want to become entertainers, particularly stand-ups, particularly Manza, the two-person style where there is the one that is setting up and the one that is hitting all the jokes, and it's a very old traditional style. We saw an anime about it, but that anime was more about like a bunch of girls trying to get things going, and it wasn't enough about comedy. The thing about that show was it wasn't that funny. I made the comparison of when that anime was airing, my Setsu opening night or opening act, that show was like, if you compared Comedy Bang Bang, which is a comedy podcast, to what WTF with Mark Maron, which is a podcast about comedians, that's what that show was. This is Comedy Bang Bang. These are very funny people, and it is about comedy, but it's mostly about these two girls, like, trying to figure shit out. Like, okay, we don't get paid for 2 days, and we only have a small amount of money. That's like the first chapter is, okay, how are we going to make this work? And then it's their reactions to each other and their goofy interpersonal conflicts, and them like, it occasionally gets a little flirty, but I don't believe that it is meant to be flirty. I think it is meant to be endearing, that they are endearing themselves to one another as they struggle. But it's like, it's two girls in Tokyo trying to fucking make it work. And they're so adorable. It's legit very funny. And I think like it works. It is a thing that I would love. They haven't had a lot of chapters in it. I would love to see it adapted into an anime, because I would love to see the repartee work in that aspect, because the thing about Manza is that it is often fast-paced back and forth. It is a lot of like sketches. In other words, sketch, that's the thing that I've been talking about now and again about the two girls who were reciting classic 90s sketches from a sketch group. That is Manza. That is this fast-paced, like, occasionally it is like situations, like sometimes it is like, hey, here's the thing about me that I want to tell you about. Here I want to tell you about my hobbies. And the hobby is in this chapter, the first chapter, the hobby is breathing. And so that's the joke. It's like, breathing's not a hobby. I'm very good at it. I've been practicing a lot. And it's like, okay. And then the next thing is like, and it's just, generally, one of my favorite things about Manza is the nomenclature, or not the nomenclature, the like specifics that everyone adheres to, the weird rules of it, is that the pace of the sketch is generally that the weird one, the funny one, goes and builds until eventually the person who is asking them questions and follow-ups, or is playing the because there's not a better word for it, really, unfortunately, the setup person, or the straight man is often called, eventually is just like, get out of here, or stop. Or when it's two people standing next to each other, they will do a like slap to the chest. They will do a slap like that, and you'll just get hit in the chest and be like, get out of here. And then they'll like they'll both present to the audience or the cameras and bow. And I think that is just like a classic thing. It's like, that's how you know to clap, because they're done, because they like one slap the other, like, get out of here. What are you talking about? Or like, enough out of you. And I really appreciate that, because that is so much better than writing an end to a sketch. That is, for my years of writing sketch and performing sketch and teching sketch, I wish I had known in the early 2000s, the mid 2000s, the early 2000 teens, that you could just end sketches by being like, get out of here, and hitting someone lightly. that was the way out of a sketch is like would have saved so much time and effort. Because it's like, get out of here. Yes, Fish McMuffin. Yeah, it's like, get out of here. It's basically that. It's basically just like, all right, enough out of you. Let's do another bit. Rain says it's the same thing as the character that is the foil for the MC. Yeah, so sometimes it is like the person, the setup person might be doing something of like, okay, so it's a lot of like reacting, setting up the yes and the allowing the other person. So basically there is like the person who is like telling you something about their life, being inventive, or like, let's say the classic interview, lots of job interviews, right? And the person who is on the job interview is probably going to be the weird one. And the person giving the interview is going to be like, okay, well, let's talk about your previous experience, and moving it along to set up the other person. Now, you might go to a funny interview where you are just trying to get a job and the interviewer is being wacky. But generally, there's the wacky one and the one setting it up and moving it along. But the one setting it up and moving it along sets the pace because they have to keep it moving. And also, like I said, Manga is often fast-paced. That is a big element of it. So I often say the Sklar Brothers are the closest thing that Western stand-up has to that. But the Sklar Brothers are on the same page. The Sklar Brothers are peas in a pod. They are in total agreement. They don't argue with one another. They don't have so it's not that. The other thing that's close to it is Stella. Stella was an offshoot of the State. It was Michael Ian Black and David Wayne and who was the third one? Michael Showalter. This is the two Mikes and Dave. So their sketch show is often 2-on-1, where two people are agreeing and the third person is setting them up. They do a thing sometimes where where it will shift, and suddenly one of the people who was the silly one is now like, wait a minute, and then the other two are ganging up on them. So they're doing like a three-person version of the Manga style. But I also don't think anybody knows that, because I think they're all just doing Laurel and Hardy. Which is also, Manga is taking a very traditional Japanese style of performance. Manga is the comedy version of that, heavily influenced by Laurel and Hardy, by two-person sketch groups. But it is also taking some influence in the presentation. Comedy, Japanese comedy was almost always presentational until they started doing sketches. And sketches, doing a two-person sketch was huge for Japan. When like Manga started getting into that shit in the 70s, I want to say, it was a big fucking deal, because they were just like, because generally plays were funny. Plays were your attempt to do acting and be comedic in that nature, and people did stand-up, and they did two-person stand-up, but it was all presentational. But when they started, like, walking away from the microphone and turning to each other, that was, like, a big thing. That was huge in Osaka, which is the comedy capital of Japan. Tokyo is probably the comedy capital of Japan, but Osaka says they're the comedy capital. Osaka says, like, Osakans are the people that naturally love comedy. That it's the most comedy venues per capita that are almost all exclusively owned by one talent agency that also co-sponsored that Matsetsu opening act, that anime about Manga that featured actual sketch groups that were signed to the studio that put on the thing and owned the comedy theaters in Osaka. It's a fucking... all of it's a business. Everything's a fucking work. Anyway, this sketch thing, this manga is funny, and I like that there's a funny thing about funny people, and also it is endearing because they're trying to survive and they're trying to make it work. And I heavily, like, that is, partly my story was like working weird jobs and wondering if it was going to work and getting a job in comedy, but it wasn't the job I wanted in comedy, but it was a fucking job in comedy. And isn't that enough? It isn't enough. And all that. And I know that I am being fucking sentimental about a lot of shit like that because I live in South Carolina with my parents at the age 41. And it is not where I thought I would be at 41. But what are you fucking gonna do? It is my reality. We'll move on to talk about some anime, and I'll regroup my goddamn mind. I also have to decide, am I doing Marute mode or minute mode? Or normal mode, not minute mode. Normal mode or Marute mode? Now, do I know what Marute mode is? No. I don't know what Marute mode is. Please, you live in the bear cave. Yes. I do live in the bear cave. I'm live from the bear cave. It just so happens the bear cave currently is in South Carolina. All right, so I'm going to decide which piece we do here based on the color of the eyes, because I think that is also, both of these have the same amount of stickers. I was going to say, which one has, the least amount of stickers. This looks very similar. One of these has less pieces. All right, let's do the Marute mode because it does include a part that is new. It has a part from the 2021 sheet, so it's got the new part, whereas the other normal mode has the older pieces on it. So we're gonna do that. Why not? Let's do that one. I don't know if there's a big difference. You can only do one, but I think let's do the new parts instead of the old parts. Yeah. Oh yeah. That is two new parts because it's got the new. This is the one that has the new head pieces. We might as well use the new head pieces. Actual modeling question: how easy are those Gundam markers to use? I have some of my 40K Tau Crisis suits, but have not broken them out yet. So. I do the quick and dirty method, and I highly recommend that. They're very simple to use, right? So like, this is like no work, right? I just hit all the indents, and then I went over. I use a eraser, a high polymer eraser. Other people will use. Oops, sorry, that piece fell off. It was easy to set up, but did come off. Other people will use a tissue or like a Q-tip, but I like using the eraser because it's fast, and then you just have to brush off the little pieces. But they're very easy. I've only been using these for a couple of years, and I actually forgot a piece on the side here. I love them because you just like look how sloppy that is. That is very sloppy. This is just a big glob of marker that I put on here. I'm gonna hit it with the eraser, and all that's left is a light indentation around the actual dent. You can't even really see it on this camera, but like, I hit it with a bunch of ink, and then that's not gonna play. Anyway, it's not hard at all. I highly recommend just trying it out. The nice thing about this is, you should know your plastics. You should know what plastic you're using because there are some plastics that don't like the Gundam marker. I believe that is the ABS plastic does not enjoy it. But the plastic that you're going to find on like a model kit is going to be good. So do your research about what markers work for what kinds of plastic that you're working on. I don't have all that information. I can't answer all those questions, so I do apologize for that. But yeah. All right, we're going to do like I said, we're going to do the new parts here. But yeah, good luck to it. I think it makes a world of difference using markers. It just really makes kits pop, especially like kits that have a lot of white in them. So like all of this is going to look so fucking good with a gray marker. It's just really going to give it more like a manga comic book feel, and that's neat. So we'll move on to working on the face here. We're going to need that piece, which is F1. We're going to need G2-1. And we're going to need, eventually we'll need F8. So we might as well take F8 out now. Working on the face here. All right, let's talk about anime. I put the anime in there. She professed herself Pupil of the Wise Man. One of the minor characters in the show that I don't like isn't around as much, and that's great. This show, once you get over the pacing issues, and you get over the fact that the main character's voice is very annoying, I think you can get used to it. And it's like fun and like pretty light. There's some dramatic moments, but it's pretty okay. The repetitive jokes don't help it at all. The repetitive jokes are bad. The thing that's worst about She Professed Herself Pupil of the Wise Man is generally that the supporting characters are, I don't care about them and I don't want them around. And that's not a good vibe for a show. So I generally don't love it, and it's a tough show to recommend. It's a very tough show to recommend. Lastbrook says, any of the fine tip or real touch markers are safe for all plastics. It's only the actual paint markers that you have to shake that will destroy ABS. So thank you very much for that, Lastbrook. Again, that's any of the fine tip or real touch markers are safe for all plastics. The actual paint markers, the ones that you have to really shake up, and you get that like rattle, almost like a spray paint can. So in some instances, that will destroy ABS. Thank you, Lashbrook. That is more than I know, and I appreciate you sharing your knowledge with the class. All right, we're going to use our new tools here. So we're going to go with sticker number 4, I should say, which is the red eyes here. We're going to apply this sticker, and we're going to pull it out here with our X-Acto blade, and then we're actually going to set it with one of my new sticker appliers, which is tweezers. These are jeweler's tweezers, as you can see, because instead of putting pressure on them to close it, you're putting pressure on them to open, so they lock. They are by default locked. And these are new. I've barely been using them, but I have found that they are better than using regular tweezers, because now it's locked and I don't have to worry. I don't have to be constantly being put pressure on this sticker in order to apply it. I'm just holding it, and then I'll put pressure on the sticker to release it. And I find that better than applying. Also, I'm not holding a knife and putting a knife very close to my fingers like I would with an X-Acto blade. And that's great too, because I don't want to stab myself with an X-Acto blade. Weird, right? That I don't want to stab myself with an X-Acto blade, but it's true. I don't. All right, so we got to apply this eyes here. All right, and then apply our eye sticker here. I am very bad at applying eye stickers. Always going to be bad at doing this. Luckily, y'all don't really see the eyes too much because I don't get super detailed with it, but still want to apply them right. I still want to do it right. I just never always do. Anyway, that should be okay. That should be fine. Great. Sticker has been applied. We'll have another sticker coming up in a second here. We might as well do that now because it's going to go on this piece here. So that is F8. Anyway, other anime I want to talk about. I appreciate how fucking weirdly, like, a good thing about in the Land of Leadale is that they don't try to drag out the stories, because this is very much like an adaptation of a manga that doesn't have like a lot of stories that, like, the larger story obviously goes chapter to chapter, but most of the story doesn't like worry about going, how do I describe this? The story doesn't worry about the fact that it's telling very small little tales connected. So like this one, we finished up a zombie fight, defeated a thing, met a couple characters, introduced a new summons, a butler that's a werecat, and we met a little girl that our main character is going to take care of. And we also tried to find out information about the mermaid village because there's a mermaid that we want to help. And we did all of that, and it didn't matter that it was like in and out, done very quickly through the episode. It was just like, yeah, all right. We met 2 more characters who are also players in the game that are now trapped in this world based in the game, because this is a world where we thought our main character was the only person in this, the reality of the game. They are not. There have been several. We didn't like one of them, and we've liked the other ones. And 2 of them so far have been dragonoids. That's kind of fun. Also there was a frog. There was the guardian of one of the towers is a frog, and our main character did not enjoy that. She did not like that. But yeah, and now there's a little girl who is the only survivor of a zombie attack that is now going to be hanging out with Kana, our main character. She's going to take care of her, I guess, which is an interesting choice. And then also, I assume this Catman butler is going to hang out, and he seems fine. They don't have anything negative to say about him, so that's nice to have a supporting character that I don't immediately hate. So, that's good. We haven't seen the giant guinea pig that she rides on in a while, which is a shame because that's a fun little wonderful character that I was like, what happened to the guinea pig? Where's our guinea pig friend? I like that big friend. It was neat. All right, let's panel line this before I put on the other parts of this that I got to put on, the A6 and A7. We'll panel line this now because it'll be easier to get at. We'll use the gray marker because there's only a little bit of red, but we don't need to panel line that. But we'll hit all of this white with gray, and it should really stand out and look great when I photograph this at the end of the stream. Anyway, so that is in the Land of Leadale, which is one of my favorite isekai. I mean, of the season. I mean, I still think I prefer How Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom, but that one did have a very weird episode about slavery in this last one. It is very strange if and when an anime refers to a civil war that took place when they tried to get rid of slavery that is clearly talking about the American Civil War. It is weird when an anime references that. Is a weird episode. Not my favorite episode. Not a good random one to start with. There has been some cool... Also, there's probably going to be a mech. They built a mech that they can't move around yet, and eventually they will move that mech around, and that's pretty cool. Because, it's just fucking cool. It's cool that they have a mech. All right, we panel line this. We'll hit the eraser and then put on the extra components we got to put on here. That would have been harder to panel line if I had waited. So we'll clean this up. And the last anime, I don't have really much to say about the Genius Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt. He's starting to, he's still pulling stuff off. He's still acting like a genius that has plans in place, even though sometimes he goes by, I appreciate that he goes by his emotions sometimes, and he's like, this is not the thing I should be doing right now, but I'm going to be doing it because you insulted the woman I love. So I am going to kill you for doing that, for wanting me to give her to you. You are going to die. And it's like, that's happened several times in this. I do appreciate some of the characters in it. The supporting characters in it are pretty good, pretty fun. So, that's nice. Overall, pretty okay anime. So, I'm fairly into it. Again, not my favorite of the season. But also, this season's not that good. There were some good anime. You know, Demon Slayer I think is fantastic. I know a lot of people are loving Ranking of Kings. I keep trying and I keep bouncing off of it. I don't want to watch it. But I know people absolutely love that show, and I think that rules for them. And I hope they keep watching it and keep loving it. I hope it keeps getting better and better. And the heartbreak and the sad moments are weighted out with the quality kick-ass moments, and you're having a great time with it. All right, before we add the next ones, we're just going to hit a little bit of black on this. We don't need much here, just where the spots here are shown. You can barely see it, but there might be an angle where I want to see a little bit of color on there. And then we need a 7 and 7, and then we're going to finish the head. This is cool. We're going to have the chest and the head done and get some of the arms. So we're making some pretty good progress on this kit, which is nice. Of course, we still got to do the arms, and then I bet this one goes from the arms to the legs and then the waist, because this is mostly a 2010 kit with some new parts. So that is my assumption, is that like it's still going to be basic like that. I don't know if we build the legs and then build the cool extra the GN boosters on the legs. This kit also transforms and looks fucking way... This is one of the best looking transformations because it doesn't have... Because it has rocket boosters basically for legs. Because of that, the transformation actually looks more like a cool futuristic jet. It's one of the best transformations I've seen. All right, it looks like we don't build regular legs. We just build the new cool rocket booster legs. We're definitely gonna need that stand because it's not gonna stand up. But that's cool. All right, I'm gonna hit this with a marker before we add them in, just because we won't be able to. It'll be easier to do it now than later. That. And put that there. All right, now's the part of the stream where I ask you folks, hey, what are you playing? What are you watching? What are you checking out? What's gotcha? What's sticking right now as far as entertainment, recommendations for things I might not have heard of, things that we just been talking about anyway. So of course I know about them. But yeah, let me know. What are y'all into right now? I got nothing new to tell you from that. I mean, I already played a little bit more of Pokemon Platinum. I'm not going farther in the story. I'm just power leveling some of the Pokemon to make the stream better for the next time I do it. I don't know when the fuck the next time I'm going to do that is. It's like at least, several streams from now, because I know what I'm playing next. Next Wednesday is Tunic, and then the following Wednesday is Pat Bear's Anime Club Live recording. And then the following one, which will be the last Wednesday of the month, I don't know. So it could be Pokemon Platinum. But I played a little more Pokemon Platinum today just to power level the team up a little bit. Because it makes it, I think, for a more fun stream if I'm not worrying about trading Pokemon out and leveling them if they are, doing okay. And might mean you don't get to see a new move they get until later, but you'll see those. But yeah, let me know in the chat, friends. What are you playing right now? If there's anything that you are like, you're liking, even if it's the same old, tell me about your same old, because I do like hearing it from y'all. I like knowing what you're up to. I don't have any new, no new stories about playing, Hearthstone. I've been still enjoying Hearthstone right now. I have a lot of gold saved up, and I'm not buying new packs because I don't need any of the. Right now, I would be buying packs to open packs to get dust from those packs. I don't have as much dust as I would like, but I don't have any like legendaries I really want right now, or even like epic. I just don't have anything that I really want in that. So right now, I'm just hoarding gold that I can buy new packs when the new expansion comes out. Because I don't like spending money on expansions. I'd rather use gold. So yeah, I'm just playing right now. my dailies, getting my daily quests done. That's basically it for me and Hearthstone. But I'm still enjoying it. I like the decks that I have. Wild Paladin Duels deck. That's silly and fun. Shaman Evolved deck that I think is really fun. A Priest Kazakhstan that's not good. The standard one. A standard Elemental Mage that's good. And I have a Quest Paladin with Kazakhstan as a payoff, but every other card, it costs 1 mana, and it's to get the quest done. And that's mostly for the weekly quest of finishing 3 of the quest lines. And because it's easy to fill that, because it's just full of 1-drops. And those are my Hearthstone decks of choice. Let's see. Lashberg says, just a bunch of Elden Ring. Picked up a Shining Pearl again to try and make some progress so I can get Shaman. Oh, nice. Enjoy both those. Dirty says, getting back into AC Valhalla. Okay, all right. That is not something I thought I would see in chat, but cool. I mean, play the games you want to be playing. I think I may have lured into getting the deluxe version of the new Lego Star Wars game because of the exclusive Blue Milk Luke Skywalker minifig. Yeah, hey, here's the thing. It's up to me to be mad at pre-order bonuses existing from a production standpoint of the developers and all that. That's not on, and the marketing. That's not on you, the person who may or may not be really like, I guess I'm fucking getting that. Like, I understand. I don't think pre-ordering is a good idea unless you're like, I would be getting this game day one no matter what. I do think waiting is always better. But if you want to pre-order. If you want to get suckered in, feel like you're getting suckered in, like, sure, okay. Lord Crashens has been watching the early UPFs, that's Unprofessional Fridays from the old Giant Bomb friends, where they'd go well over 2 hours before realizing how risky that was for getting the archives uploaded safely. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of reasons that was bad, especially because the thing was they were just in the office, but a lot of it was like Vinny would just get stuck. Like, he would just, like, be stuck in the office trying to get that done. It was bad for Vincent Caravella to do that back in the day. It's nice when you get a 20% discount with Amazon Prime. Worked real well on collector's editions. Yes, Lashbrook. If you can get a deal on it and you know you're going to get it, I think that's fine. If it's a physical object, just be aware that Amazon lately has been bad about in video games and in model kits. If they're not charging you until until like the thing is available, and then they charge you when they're going to ship. Amazon has been doing a thing the last couple of years where they will just take more pre-orders because it doesn't cost any money. And so if you've been banking on getting the thing and you only got the pre-order from Amazon, if you didn't get it early enough, you may be out of luck, and that sucks. But yeah, that's a bad time. So hopefully people are okay on that and still getting the things they want. If it's a physical thing, if it's just pre-ordering, to get the code or whatever. Yeah, I mean, do what you gotta do. Get what you want. Get it how you want to get it. Lock this in place. Okay. All right. And then we need, this is going to connect to PC1 and then B1 and B2, 7. Okay. I haven't really had a problem. That's awesome, Lashbrook. I'm glad. I've had a problem with Pokemon. I pre-ordered some Pokemon model kit stuff here for the streams in the past, and they have missed their shipping date, or they were like, we are out of stock on this right now. Sorry. And then I just had to and then, they don't owe you any money. They just go, if you want to, be on the wait list for this, you can. And it's just like, God damn it. Now I got to try to find this somewhere else. That has been frustrating. I've had that happen to me. At least I got to see Vinny call for Zobek. Yes, indeed. Call for Zobek. Call for Zobek. I mean, some of those UPFs are fun, Lord Crashington. Some of those ones are classic, good times, weird times. The Whiskey Media Happy Hour, came before that, and some of those are some of my favorite tested things where things just went wrong because they were unprepared for shenanigans for it, or they like didn't have time in their work week to really plan something out. So they were like, let's do this nonsense. Those were pretty great. Adding to the lore of chat, trolling them with the purse and other jokes. Oh God, pick up the purse. Why did they believe chat? You got to take chat with a grain of salt. Oh, why did they believe chat instead of just accepting that the game that it was bugged, that they hit a bug. And they were like, oh no, we got to do this thing. Ugh, so frustrating to watch that. That I didn't even encounter that bug in Sleeping Dogs, but I it's like, oh, don't listen to chat. Sometimes chat is very helpful. And, maybe some of those people did think that they were helping because they also assumed that someone in chat was saying something to be helpful and they were just echoing that thing. But that's often not the case. The Sleeping Dogs DLC Quick Look is one of the best things because they didn't anticipate it just not working and how to fix it. Yes. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, live Quick Looks are always really interesting because, like, sometimes now they'll do that. Well, they'll be like, oh, we're going to do a live quick look. And it's like, should you be? Because, like, you're going to do a live quick look of a live service game. And what if it fucking doesn't work? And that's happened where they're just like, yeah, we're going to do this multiplayer thing and we're going to do it live. And you can watch it. And it's just like, servers are down because it's day one. We waited till day one so we can give impressions on it. And we can't play it because too many people are trying to play it. I think that was also the time where they used an old PC or something that just gave them fits. Yeah, I mean, sometimes there are gremlins. And that's a thing that, like, that is a theater thing. That is a production thing. I've certainly had my fair share of, like, hey, why isn't this fucking thing working? I don't know why this isn't working. I don't know what to do about this. There's just nothing I can do right now. I want to say we had someone renew their sub. I guess they didn't put the notification in. If and you're not really under an obligation to do that. But thank you to the person that renewed their sub. It's very kind of you. I'm gonna put this back up to 45. Sometimes it doesn't pop up, and sometimes you're like, oh, I forgot to, or I was on mobile, and that's cool. Or you're just like, I didn't want to. That's also cool. But we're back to 45 subscribers, which is nice. Speaking of things not working, did you see the Next Lander Def Jam stream? I saw a photo of Alex at Vinny's, and then something about like Next Land, like all it took was breaking Vinny's machine or something. So I didn't see that, but I believe that there was some carnage. Lashbrook, yeah. I look forward to checking that out. But I did not see the stream, so I'll have to, check out the archive when that's available. I got to see when that is. But, yeah, sounds like there was some damage. And that's not good. But also, maybe it's fucking really funny. And it's also hilarious, the idea of Alex. The thing you got to understand is Queens and where Vinny lives in New Jersey are not near one another. Queens is not close to New Jersey. It's very not close to New Jersey. Now, parts of Brooklyn are maybe even farther. Where Alex lives in Queens to New Jersey isn't the worst Jersey, Queens to Jersey. Alex does have a car. I don't know if he drove there. But even if he drove there, he still had to go through the Lincoln Tunnel. And he still had to travel. And the idea that he traveled to Vinny's so they could in person play that game together, and then something went catastrophically wrong is hilarious, but also makes me feel very bad because I understand. I know the time there. Having been to Vinny's and been to Alex's, I know the distance between the two. I didn't go from one to the other, but I have been to both, and I know how long that takes. Rand says it was great. I'm sure it was, but also you got to understand. I'm not talking like, oh, because I know them, I have more sympathy than you. I'm not saying that at all. Don't get it twisted. I'm saying because I have done live theater for so many years, both performing it and teching it, I've done lots of live stuff where things have gone wrong and it was my fault. And I've done a lot of live stuff where things went wrong and it wasn't my fault. Like, there's just no good way to feel okay about that thing going wrong, unless if they start instantly laughing, like, letting you know it's okay to laugh, that's fine. But that's still hard. Like, there's no good way to feel good about like something fundamentally going wrong like that. It's very tough from a production standpoint. I just feel like when there's sound problems, like when speakers aren't working, or like if I'm at a concert, like when I went to those, and you could see that the in-ear monitors or the stage monitors just aren't working, I just feel bad. I never feel good. I don't, like, I just don't have the capacity to be like, look at these fuckers. It's always just like, oh God, I can't. Oh God, I can't. Oh God, someone fix this. Oh no. It's just very difficult for me not to have the utmost sympathy because I have been there. All right, we are done with these shoulders here. Almost done. I'm going to finish panel lining this off stream because we are almost at our time here. We're about time to wrap up. So I will do all of the cleanup of this, and I will hit the orange of this with black. It's going to look so fucking good because this orange really takes a marker. It really looks good with a marker. So we'll finish that up. We'll just, for right now, kind of like pop these in. Just to show it off, these cool shoulders. Sorry, I was in a F-14 dungeon earlier, but I got caught up a lot on manga this week, and it makes me sad. That you got caught up on it, and now you don't have more to get caught up on, or that the manga that you were reading you didn't like. Whichever, I'm sorry. I also have been there where I'm like, you go and you do your marathon, and you're like, I'm going to get caught up on the show. And then you're like, wait, now I have to wait days for the next one. Like, if you get caught up on a show on the day that the newest episode, yeah, you have to wait for more. Yeah, you're like, but there was a lot of it, and now there isn't a lot of it. And especially with manga, especially these like releases where sometimes they're releasing like half of a chapter every month. Or like every 2 weeks, and you're like, well, I get every 2 weeks, but I only get half a chapter, so nothing's happening. And like whatever release schedule works, manga artists are so overworked and underpaid, and so that is not a slight on them. But from a perspective of someone that wants to read something, it's like, fuck, I only got like a quarter of a chapter right now. But yeah, the waiting for more is tough. The thing you got to do, unfortunately, Rand. The only solution is to read more manga, is to get other manga that you haven't read and get really into that, which is not a practical solution, but is something you're just gonna have to get into. All right, that is gonna do it for our stream tonight. We are gonna go on a raid. That is how we end every stream, is we go on a raid. We're going to go give a little bit of love to somebody out there doing something cool in the community. Everyone that I raid are people that I think are neat and or great. Things got a little, I would say, weird. Oh, sorry, you probably double heard me there. Sorry about that. I didn't mute my desktop audio. Things got probably a little weird in Mitch's stream last night. Mitch is a great dude. He was just doing something outside his comfort zone. We came in at a weird time. And he also like took a break right when we got there, which was weird, but like that happens. Look, there's always a chance that we're going to go raid someone who is finishing up their fucking stream. That's just always a possibility. Who are we going to go hang out with tonight? Sorry, I should figure this out. How long are they going? I'm gonna check because this person might be done. Let's see. When did they tweet out that they are streaming? They did not tweet out when they are. Okay. Oh no, they've been going 5 hours. So I'm going to say let's not go and raid them because they're probably going to be close to being done. Let's go raid Arthur. Arthur Geese is playing. We raid Arthur quite a few times. We'll go raid Arthur again. Arthur is playing Elden Ring, which is his game of choice right now, and that is cool. Arthur is cool, so we'll go give him a raid and check out some Elden Ring. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for hanging out on stream. Please come along. Click that raid button so you come along with me. Come back on Saturday as I continue this kit. We'll work on the arms. We'll put some more progress on this. It's going to get weird. When we get to leg day, there's going to be some weird looking legs. So that'll be fun. And we'll continue hanging out and talking about stuff. I got more anime to talk about, some manga to talk about. I'll see you in the next stream. Thanks so much, everybody, for being here. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.